everybody. This is Danielle. I am over at the fitness center right now, and it is eerily quiet here without all of the energy that you guys bring to this building. It is very, very bizarre to be in here. I cannot wait to see you guys again. Cannot wait to have the energy back into this building again that you guys bring to it. I am eager for some regular sense of normal, unlike the new normal that we're trying to adjust to right now. So what I'll be doing, I'm going to chat for a little bit, but today what we're going to be doing is some basic chair stretches and movements. I am sure a lot of you are finding yourselves sitting a lot more than normal. I know that I am. As a trainer here, I am used to being on my feet the entire time that I'm here. I'm helping people with movements, I'm showing them movements, I'm walking around. I don't sit a lot, and so I have been now working behind a laptop, and that is very, very different for me. So I need to remind myself to move just as much as you guys may need the reminders from us to help you move a little bit more. So what we'll be doing today is going through some things that you can just do at home in a chair. You don't need much of anything in order to do the movements. I just would like you to find a chair that doesn't have wheels on it for me. And ideally not the couch that you may have been sitting in a lot, or an overstuffed couch. So try to find something a little more sturdy that's going to force you upright and sitting. And again, that it doesn't have wheels, so it's not going to move as we are going through our movements. I want you guys to be safe, okay? As we go through these different movements and stretches, if you are my client watching, you will vouch for me. One of my most famous, well-known sayings is, I despise the saying, no pain, no gain. If your body is telling you that something hurts, be it inside your joint or your muscle, back off, please stop. I don't want you to be hurting yourself. If you push through a stretch, you're just going to end up hurting your muscles, and it's not getting the benefit that we're looking for with it. So if you need to shorten the range of motion by not extending your arm fully and just going a little bit more out, then do that as we go through this stuff, and we'll modify. I'll walk you through some basic modifications as well. But just keep that in mind, okay? So don't push into a painful situation because it's not going to help you in the end either. We'll be going through some basic things here. We'll get started in about a minute here. But again, you just want to make sure you've got a nice sturdy chair, no wheels. You want to make sure that your feet can be flat, that you can sit up nice and tall. And that way, as we go through the movements, I'll kind of cue you to not let your head go below your heart and things like that. And again, movement should feel really good, not painful, okay? I think we're probably going to go ahead and get started, and it should take us about maybe 20 minutes to get through this routine, depending on how many repetitions you do. You can always come back and do this every day. Kind of up to you. There's lots of videos that have been posted. You can always modify. The instructors are really good about giving modifications. But let's go ahead and get started with ours today. All right, so we're going to start you guys off with what I call the good morning stretch. So I'm going to have you guys extend your arms up and out. You're going to put that left arm up, right arm down, and stretch. Should feel really good across the chest. Bring it back in, and you're going to do the opposite lead. Right arm up, left arm down, and stretch. Good, bring it back in. You're going to do it again on each side. This again, if you need to change the range and come lower, then go right ahead. Should feel nice throughout the chest and shoulders. Last time, extending out, opposite lead, and reach, and then bring it back in. Good, you guys. All right, we're going to do a nice deep breath in. I need to scooch forward because there's arms on my chair. You do what works for you, but we're going to inhale our arms up and then exhale arms down. Good, we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale up, adjust the range of motion as you need to, exhale down. 1 more time, inhale up, nice and tall through your back, exhale down. Awesome. Okay, we're going to go through a chest press sequence. And you'll feel the movement and warming up throughout your chest and shoulders on this one, okay? First one we're going to do is we're going to bend our wrist, and we're going to reach up like we're reaching for a glass in a cabinet. I'm kind of crossing the midline, and I bring it back down. And I'm going to switch sides. Bend at the wrist and reach, and bring it back down. I'm going to have you keep switching sides. Gentle twist in your back, loosening up. Kind of up to you as to how much you're going to rotate. But my eyes follow my hands. And I'm going to twist. Good. I'm going to keep going. And bending the wrist is a little extra bang for the buck, because what that's going to do is help create some muscle memory, that if you should find yourself in the position that you're falling, you flex the wrist to help catch you. So you might as well help develop some good muscle memory now, right? We're gonna keep going. Notice I'm kind of changing the height, so if you need to come down a little bit lower because of your shoulders, go right ahead. We're gonna do about 2 more on each side. You can keep twisting more or less depending on your shoulders and your back. Let's do 1 more on each side, okay? Big reach, 1 more time, bend the wrist and reach. The next one is gonna be shoulder height or chest height, reaching across and back in, reaching across and back in. Keep twisting. You might start to feel a little bit warm in your core and your back, and that's what we're looking for. We gotta start moving again. We have to find a new normal, the honeymoon of it all, of baking more and eating more. We need to kind of start backing off that and getting into moving more and eating healthy, planning our meals again, all of that reality of our current situation and making it healthy for us again. Let's do 1 more time. Right arm over and bring it back in. Last one is going to be reaching outside the knee, opposite side, and back up. Reach outside the knee and back up. So notice what I'm not doing is reaching down to the floor. I'm keeping my head above my heart, and that way I don't get dizzy by whipping my head up and down. I don't need anybody getting dizzy. I don't need anybody falling over on this one. So you just reach down, maybe mid-calf, and that'll be about the lowest you want to go, but I'm keeping my head up. And again, it's kind of up to you and your back as far as how much rotation you can get on this, but the more movement, the better right now. Keeping it all pain-free. We're gonna do about 2 more. Last one over. Good, and then bring yourself back up. All right, the next one we're gonna do is called a torso twist. What I want you guys to do is bend your elbows about 90 degrees. You don't need to go higher than your shoulders on this. Your eyes are gonna turn with you. You're gonna turn and look, and then come back to the center. On an opposite side, and come back to the center. All right, keep twisting, go at your own pace. I always pause at the center. Again, I don't want anybody getting dizzy, and this is not a race from side to side. We don't wanna hurt our backs because we're moving too quickly on anything. Should feel nice, should be a good stretch across maybe mid-back, maybe the ribs. Easy movement, reminding our bodies that we do know how to move, even if we've been kind of sluggish the last 2 weeks. Let's do 2 more. Last one over. Good, and take a little break, okay. So now what we're gonna do is keep our arms here, so we're gonna keep working on those shoulders a little bit, but what I want you to do next is reach out to your side and reach with your fingertips and stretch, and then bring your elbows back to that bent position. And then reach out again and stretch. Keep trying to touch the opposite ends of the room, and then bring it back in. Keep going. If your shoulders get tired, you can drop your arms down, but this is about holding up with those shoulders, working that joint, and getting good blood flow going. And it's also getting a nice good stretch too. We sit, we get slouchy, we get round shoulders, and we definitely don't want any of that. Reaching out, stretch, stretch, stretch. Notice how tall I'm trying to stay. Balance that book on your head, okay? Keep our backs up nice and tall, engage that core. Last one, big reach out, and bring it back in. Good. Now we're gonna punch. So I want you to go ahead and make a little fist. My feet are still flat on the floor. And I want you to reach, and you're pushing forward and bring it back in. Press forward, bring it back in. We're gonna keep going. You can switch sides. I'm not twisting a lot on this one. You can get a little bit of a twist, but I want you to act like you're pushing into something. So really tighten up that chest and push, and keep it going. So we're kind of working the chest muscle like a push-up. Push through, try to engage, and push. Good, you guys. Push. If this is too much reaching for your shoulder, you can always come in here, shorten the range of motion. Otherwise, just go for it, and big push through. Big push through. Let's do about 2 more on each side. Keeping that body twisting. Hopefully you guys are starting to feel a little bit warm. Last one. Good. Now we're gonna go into the row, so I'm gonna work the opposite muscle group, right? We just worked a little bit in the chest. Now we're gonna try to target the back. I'm really big on posture. A lot of my clients know that. I've got a little yoga, a little Pilates behind me. So I'm always telling them to sit up tall and unround their shoulders. So I'm gonna help you guys with that a little bit. We're gonna do a basic row. You're gonna hold on, thumbs up, and you're gonna pull back, pinch your shoulder blades, and then back out in front. So now my focus is on pulling and pinching, and then release and come back. And keep it going through that motion. The elbows just kind of stay close to your body as you pull back. I'm staying tall in my back and engaging my core. And I'm really trying to pinch the shoulder blades. Okay, I'm not arching my back. I'm just squeezing the shoulder blades on this one. And this we do again as if we sit and we're at a computer all the time to get rounding and our shoulders going. And then we're cooking because we're eating more and baking more, and that's more rounding in our shoulders. We're gonna do one more, okay? I'm gonna have you guys do palms down now, and you're gonna pull out wide and pull, and then back out. So I'm just changing the movement a little bit. If you can keep the elbows shoulder height, go for it. Keeping it here and pull. There you go. So you'll feel a little difference. If this bothers your elbow or shoulders, go back to that narrow one. Otherwise, let's just try to push it and challenge as much as we can. And pull. And reach. And pull. Good. Let's do two more. I like working the back muscle a lot because we don't get to it. Last one. Big pull back. And then relax. Good. So you should be really warm in the upper body right now. Next, we're gonna get into a forward bend to the floor. So I want you guys to widen your feet. I'm kind of on the edge of my chair a little bit. I'm sturdy on it, but I have to have room to move. So I've scooted forward a little. So I want nice wide feet. And again, I'm gonna keep my head above my heart, but I'm gonna reach down towards the floor to my comfort level. I got a nice good stretch in my back, and I'm gonna bring myself back up. We're gonna keep doing that. Touch the floor, and then bring yourself back up. If you wanna get a little bit more bang for your buck as you're going through this, reach down to the floor, but then I want you to kind of articulate your spine and uncurl back up to neutral. Reaching back down, let it round, and then articulate through and back up. Do two more, reaching forward, and then bring it back up. One more time. This is working that low back for us. It gets weak the more we sit, and the less core work we do. So we gotta keep that strong back there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get in some lower body stuff next, okay? So we're nice and sturdy in our chair still. I'm forward a little bit, but if you need to have back support, just scooch back into your chair. Otherwise, nice and tall, get that book balanced on your head. And I'm gonna have you guys do marching. The thing with marching, I like people to get the biggest bang for their buck on this as well. You're gonna flex your toes up when you do it. So I'm gonna lift my toes up, I'm gonna lift and drop. Switch sides, lift and drop. So you're gonna keep alternating sides, lifting those toes up. As you keep doing this, make sure your thigh comes up straight. Make sure that your toes are not turning out. And if it hurts your hip or low back, go a little bit lower, okay? If you've had a hip replacement and it doesn't like this high marching, go a little bit lower. Just keep those toes flexed up for me. And I'm nice and tall. Again, I'm engaged in my core, making it work for me, reminding it that it's there. You guys are gonna keep going. I also have my hands forward, my thumbs pointing straight ahead. I'm not here because that's rounding again, right? So open it up. Let's keep marching. And march. Let's do one more. Each side. Finish it up. And march. Very good. Now we're gonna do a heel tap out in front. So I'm gonna reach out front with my heel tap. Bring it back in. Opposite heel tap. Bring it back in. You're gonna keep switching sides. Heel tapping out. If this bothers your knee, there's too many snap, crackle, pops going on, bring yourself back to the march, that's fine. Otherwise, go for it. Any of these things you can add resistance to if you've got those little TheraBands at home. You can always put dumbbells on your thighs or ankle weights on your thighs. Give yourself some extra tension if you need it. But we're just getting this knee joint moving, getting good fluid in it. I'm staying up tall. You guys are doing good. I'm glad you guys came today. Keep kicking out. Keep kicking out. Let's do one more on each side, okay? Big kick out. Last time, big kick out. Good. All right, the next one, a lot of my clients out there know this one. I call it getting out of the car. I want you to flex your toes up, and you're gonna get out of the car if you're on the passenger side, and get over that lip, and then bring your leg back in. Opposite side, up and out, back in. Okay, keep flexing your toes up and alternating our side. If this is too much movement on that hip, you can make it a smaller lip in your imagination, and that's just fine. But this is really good for helping us getting in and out of cars and working those hip muscles. What I'm not doing is tapping out from my knee. So lift that thigh up and out and bring it back up and in. Same thing, up and out and bring it back in. Let's do 2 more on each side. Really flex those toes up. And again, I drive the toe flexion because it's better for walking so we don't trip over our feet when we walk. We gotta make sure we keep those ankles strong. Last time, right side, up and out, and bring it back in. Good. Now we're gonna do tiny little circles from the knee. So you're gonna keep the knee as if there was like a crayon on here, and I'm gonna go against a wall, and I'm just gonna draw a circle. And you're just gonna draw these nice, easy circles. You can make them bigger if you want, but I'm not slouching to make that bigger range happen. That doesn't help. So stay tall, easy circles. Same leg, other direction. Circle it. You might be feeling some of this in your thigh. That's great. Flex those toes up. Stay nice and tall, no slouching. Let's do 2 more. 1 and 2. Good. All right, we're gonna switch sides, okay? Gotta move my water. Last thing I need is making a mess. Flex the toes up. Begin your small circle. Again, if you need to kind of picture that you're drawing on a piece of paper in front of you, go for it. But I'm tall, I'm engaged, and I'm not hurting my hip or my back. Toes are flexed up. You guys are doing good. Remember, you showed up. This is a good moment throughout the day, right? 1 moment at a time. Other side, or other direction, same side. So we're pulling in. My toes are still flexed up. Again, you might get nice and warm in those thighs, and that's good. Keep doing the circles. Keep reminding yourself to stay tall. 1 more. And good. Take a break. Next, we're gonna go ahead and do a heel lift. So it's basically like a calf raise, but seated. If you wanna put your hands on your thighs for extra resistance, you can. Otherwise, you're just gonna be pushing the heels up off the floor, lifting them up, and then dropping back down. You're gonna keep going through this range. You decide how high up those heels go. But what I want you to think about is that the weight gets distributed evenly across all of your toes every time you pick your heel up. So try not to roll out. That's gonna give us weaker ankles when we're walking on unstable surfaces like rocks or grass. So really go all the way across all of your toes and back down. Again, I'm staying tall. I've got my thumbs kind of straight ahead. I'm going up and down. You should feel it in your calf. That's what we're aiming for right now. Let's do 2 more. Heels up. Last one, heels up. Good. Now we have to do the opposite. So I'm going to have my heels out in front of me a little bit more, and I'm going to do my toe taps. You can do both feet together or alternating. It depends on the range of motion that you have. You can lift both up, drop back down, or you can go ahead and do alternating. If you're going to do alternating because it's easier for you, don't lean and don't twist when you do it, okay? We're lifting and we're dropping. We're lifting and we're dropping. Where you should feel that is going to be in the front of your shin area. And again, that's helping us when we walk because we go heel, toe, and we pick back up. So we got to make sure we break down the movement so that's easier in the end. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. Last one, lift and drop. Very good. You guys are doing great. All right, so what we're gonna go ahead and do next is we're gonna get into some stretching for you guys. So we've got all nice and warmed up. We did a little bit of working out, so to speak, on the chair, worked out our muscles, got nice and warm. Now we're gonna do some stretching. I'm gonna start you guys out with an inner thigh stretch on the chair, and I'll kind of change my seated position so you can see me as I go through it. But what I want you to do, again, I'm kind of on the edge of my chair here, and I'm gonna put my leg out to my side, and I'm gonna put my hands either holding onto the chair or on my thighs, and I just kind of rotate my straight leg, rotate the toes until you feel that stretch more on the inner thigh. And once you have it, you can just kind of stay there, but we're just trying to get a good stretch in there. Most stretches you wanna hold for about 20 seconds. Anything under 10 is not really beneficial for us. So you definitely wanna let it release and have a good stretch. If this stretch is bothering your hip or your knees, just hold on for 1 minute because you'll be able to do the next one. You can always go back to basic marching and keeping yourself warm. And then when you're ready, back it up, bring it back in. So we're going to do our opposite side. I'm going to be seated again. I'm nice and stable. My leg goes out to the side of the chair. And I'm going to lean until I feel that stretch. If I don't feel it, then I start playing with my ankle and foot rotation. And we find that spot that needs it. We're all different. We all have a tighter side. We're all dominant with one side or the other. Certain movements we're dominant with one side or the other. So find that tight spot for you and really give yourself the benefit of that stretch. But again, this is more inner thigh than anything, okay? Hold it, it's not painful. I can talk through it, I'm not wincing. If you're making a painful face, back off a little bit. You guys are doing really good. You're gonna go ahead and bring that leg back up and in. All right, next we're gonna get into the hamstring stretch. What I want you guys to do, again, I'm on the edge. One leg is straight out. I'm going to have my hands on both of my thighs. My toes are straight up and down. Nice tall back. I'm going to push my chest forward. I should feel a stretch in that back of that hamstring, maybe down into your calf. If you only feel it in your calf, it just means that's where you're tightest, and that's okay. If that's where you need the stretch, hold it. But my toes are flexed up in order for me to get a good, nice, good stretch. If I drop my toes, it takes a lot of stretch away. So flex those toes up. Get the biggest bang for your buck while you can. Gently leaning forward. I'm not wincing. It's not painful. It feels good. That's a big stretch. And then go ahead and bring it back up. And we're going to switch sides, okay? Opposite leg is going to extend straight out. Flex those toes up a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead, chest forward. Big stretch down that hamstring. If you're more this way because you're more flexible, then that's great. Hold it with what works for you. All right, but what I'm not doing is rounding in my spine. Push that chest forward. Flex those toes up. Find the stretch and hold it. Good, and then we're gonna head easy back up. We're gonna do what I call the guide leg cross stretch. If this is too much for your hip or anything, go back to the straight leg hamstring. Otherwise, a modification is to cross your leg here. You can lift above the knee, or you can go ahead and bend. Guide leg cross. If you want more back support, scoot yourself back. You can also cradle your knee and then push the chest forward. All right, if this is too easy for you, push the knee away. But I still have a nice tall back pushing forward. You should feel this in that hip area and the glutes. We're targeting what's called the piriformis and psoas. Maybe that was a crossword puzzle answer that you needed so desperately. Nice, easy stretch. This one's really good. This one helps my low back a lot. So if you've got some low back complaining going on, this one could help you out a little bit. If you have hip issues, you might not be doing this one with me, and that's okay. Go back to your hamstring one. Let's go ahead and switch. Cross the leg. Cradle if you need to. Otherwise, press down and lean. This is one of those easy ones you can do every day when you're getting your shoes on and tying your shoes. And just kind of hold the stretch for a little bit. We don't always need to make exercise be a huge block of our time if that's what's stopping us. Sneak it in when you can. This is definitely a sneaker in of a stretch. Good. And we're going to go ahead and back off. Got a couple more to go and you guys are done. We're going to do the cat-cow. So if you've ever taken yoga, you're familiar with the term. Otherwise, if you've had a trainer, we probably have all had you do something like this. Arms are going to be out. And I want you to go ahead and tuck your chin, arch your back. And then I want you to go ahead and pull in, looking up and arch. Chest up to the ceiling. Reach forward, round your back. And then chest out, head up to the ceiling. Let's do two more. Rounding of the back. Big C curve. And then pulling it up, chest to the ceiling. Last one. Reach. And pull. Good. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and end with our good morning stretch again. See if you've gotten looser and if you can move a little bit more, okay? Go ahead and reach out. Big stretch. See if you can go any higher, a little further back. Bring it back in, opposite. Right arm up, left arm down. Big stretch. One more time on each side. Big reach. Last one, opposite. Give yourself a bear hug. You just kind of wrap around, pat yourself on the back for showing up today. You guys did great. But because I'm a trainer, I'm going to make you do the opposite lead. So I'm going to switch, wrap it around with the opposite arm on top, pat yourself on the back again. Very good. You guys made it. So that's a nice easy chair routine to do. Feel free to go back and revisit this video. Check it out on YouTube as well. Tell your friends if you think it's something that they can do with you, or if they want to be able to log on, they can like our Facebook page or they can find our YouTube videos, okay? Otherwise, you guys, I can't wait to see you again when we get to open back up and see smiling faces and positive energy. And then, yeah, keep moving and stay healthy, okay? Bye, guys. Thanks for showing up.